with this for anybody. Okay, sweet.
John does, yes. I was like, I have no
Amazing.
idea where that recording would go, so I'm glad John got it.
So, yeah, thank you so much for inviting me to your CSTA chapter again. Out of all the chapters I've actually been to, this is probably presented at, this is probably the most number of members that are actually present
Yeah.
on a Zoom call. So, yeah, you guys, it shows a lot of commitment to actually like improving your teaching skills. So, yeah, hopefully, I could provide you with a tool or tell you about a tool that can be valuable for your class. Um, so have any of you guys heard of JuiceMind or have used it in the classroom before? Okay, sweet. A couple of hands. So yeah, for those of you who haven't ever heard of JuiceMind, I could walk you through what it is at a high level. And for those who may have used it a couple of times or actively use it in your class, I think it would be a good opportunity to show you some of the more advanced features, as well as features that we are going to be coming up with in the upcoming months. So to walk through pretty much how we got started. Originally, my co-founder is actually a teacher, and one of the things that he thought that really excited teachers most during his class period was playing Cahoots with the class, just because it brings kind of like that sense of competitive energy to the classroom. But for computer science, there was a limitation in that for Kahoot, it's pretty much just multiple choice and free response. Whereas like there's a lot more that could be done with coding. So a couple of new question types that we came out with was obviously it's just similar to multiple choice, but with an embedded IDE. So students can so you could actually like type the code and it's instead of adding this generic screenshot. Another question type that we do support is select the error. So students can actually compete with each other to practice debugging skills and see who finds a specific error in the code fastest. And what are probably like most coding relevant question types that we support is fill in the code. So students can actually compete with each other to see, okay, who can answer the coding question fastest. And we do provide a variety of tips as well as for students who do struggle with the assignment or yeah, for students who might have less experience or practice. And then obviously a lot of teachers don't like the it's fun a lot of times, but some teachers might not like the competitive aspect. So you could also assign quizzes and have no deadlines as well as question timers. And okay, sweet. Do we have any questions so far?
Is this a free website or is this something that like a teacher would need to subscribe to?
Great question. So a lot of our platform is free. We can walk over at the end of the demo what's free and what's paid. But for example, what I've showed you so far, this would be completely free. You could pretty much just log on onto the platform and would have access to all of the quizzes or pre-made quizzes for a variety of different classes. We also have a partnership with code.org. So we feature a lot of quizzes associated on their curriculum. And we also do have actually block coding quizzes. So if you're teaching, getting students involved in coding, if you're pretty much kind of the first introduction to coding for students and you're interested in using a block coding approach, we also do have the same concept where students compete with each other, but they're competing with each other to add different blocks um, in a gamified way. So that's what we started off with. If any of you guys are math teachers, we also have similar quizzes for math where it's pretty much custom question types for math so students can compete with each other to see who answers a math question fastest. Um, so yeah, that's what we support. That's pretty much how we got started off with JuiceMind. And we came out with that probably 2.5, 3 years by now. The next the next product that we grew into was our Teams platform. So if you guys have heard of Replit or coding rooms in the past, They are web-based IDEs that pretty much became discontinued at the beginning of last year, so 2024. So a lot of teachers at that point were left scrambling to find a replacement solution. So we thought, okay, since we're working with a lot of teachers in the computer science space, we can pretty much just build a replacement. And for those of you who've never used Replit or coding rooms or who might use a local IDE for your coding class, such as either Eclipse or Visual Studio Code, a web-based IDE, so we could go through the advantages, but some of the primary advantages is, especially if you're a Chromebook-based school, students can work on an IDE online, and they could pretty much take the assignment with them from home. And then you as a student, as a teacher, would be able to view their assignment and have everything localized on one website. So the way that we set it up is if you use Replit, it's super similar. So you could have a team, which is essentially a class. And if you're interested in creating your own coding projects or your own curriculum, you would create it from scratch. We also do support curriculum, which we could go over later, but we have a partnership with CS Awesome, and we support a variety of other curriculums. So, for example, principles, Python, and web development are most popular. So let's look at what a team from scratch would look like. So for example, over here we you have the option when you create a new team or a class to add a new team, and you would have the option of selecting either a coding assignment or a lesson. So this coding assignment would be really helpful for teachers who are interested in creating different homework, either homework assignments or projects that students can pretty much attempt in class. And a lesson is more so if you're interested in creating your own curriculum on the site. So, so sorry, I was just catching up on the chat.
I was just
Um,
saying, feel free to type questions in the chat and I'll monitor it for you and let you know if we get one for you. So
okay, sweet. That
that way
would be super
you don't have to
helpful.
do so many different things at once. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Um, but yeah, when you are, so for this one specifically, this would be an example of a coding project. So you as a teacher would be able to specify whatever text you want your student to complete on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, you would be able to specify whatever starter code you want your students to start off with. So just to walk through like kind of like the main advantages of like what a the web-based IDE can provide. In terms of actually going through and grading students' code, everything is pretty much automated. So you have the option of providing either input-output tests or unit tests, which pretty much automates the grading process for when you do provide an assignment to students.
Ryan,
So
speaking of grades and tests, it looks like Desiree actually is asking, does this site meet the Ohio Bill 29 standards now? Do you guys go through the standards for CSTA in Ohio?
yes, and we are I believe we are. I would have to double check that with the team, but we are used by a lot of teachers throughout Ohio. That's why I'm confident in saying yes, but maybe I could send a follow-up email just to confirm and give the 100%.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Um, so yeah, and then if there is anything specific that's also like school or district related, I know it's not related, but with regards to privacy, we also can unblock you over there. So yeah, with regards to test cases, you could provide pretty much like what you want the input of the code to be and the expected output or the expected results. So once a student goes ahead and tries out a coding assignment, they would be able to run the test and see if they've gotten it correct or incorrect. Another advantage is that you could see student code by directly clicking on the student on the right-hand side. And yeah, so this would give you the ability to see exactly what they've written. You could also provide comments and feedback to the student. So you could say, for example, over here, maybe I don't like how they did the exponential. So I could say another option is to replace it by sine multiplied by itself. And then another huge advantage, I'm sure all of you guys are aware of this issue, but pretty much with ChatGPT and other AI resources, students have the answer to pretty much every coding assignment. So you could actually see as a teacher the full student history. And we do flag student responses in terms of like how they completed an assignment as being plagiarized. So with just to kind of like summarize, the main advantages of a web-based IDE are with regards to the automated grading, the ability for students to work from home or work from wherever, the ability to see the actual student's code, as well as provide comments and feedback, as well as have the ability to detect plagiarism and see actually what they came up with. Finally, just to show you what the test cases look like, you could press test and as a student, you could go through and see what the expected output is and what the actual output or um, what the expectation or what the correct answer is. So this is with regards to a coding project. We also do support curriculum. So just going back to the CS Awesome example, just to show you guys what it would look like. We have full curriculum integration, so you as a teacher would be able to so get, our philosophy is that you as a teacher understand your students best. So we made it possible that you could edit we provide you with a curriculum template that you could pretty much edit and modify however you like. If you're interested in adding, for example, like more coding exercises, you could go through and select from our dropdown and, for example, add a JuiceMind ID. So this is something that a coding exercise that you could try with your class. Other than that, we have our college board approved for both of our courses, and um, we pretty much support an entire curriculum. And then, yeah, another advantage of the curriculum is that the JuiceMind quizzes are directly integrated in. And you would have the full ID functionality that you saw that we walked through previously.
Ryan,
Uh, do-
Krista actually asked how you're talking about integration. How is integration with maybe other LMS systems like Canvas or Blackboard or Google Classroom?
so we do integration at our district level plan. So you can, whatever LMS system that you do have, we do integrate with it.
Okay. Yep.
So that would be an example of one premium feature.
Okay.
Um, but with regards to actual student grades, you have, so this specific team doesn't have, our team, our class doesn't have grades. But we do have our own, um, obviously it's on the simpler side, but we have our own LMS system that students would have access to and teachers would be able to see the grade book and like the current grades for each individual student.
That's a good segue too. I apologize. SB 29 has to do with student privacy protection instead of
Yeah.
what I was talking about with the standard. So that is my fault. So, but I wanted to make sure Desiree and Renee's question got answered. How does JuiceMind handle with the student privacy?
So with regards to student privacy, we work at well, normally, like with other states, I'm not sure with Ohio off the top of your head. My head, I'm sure we've done data privacy agreements just because we've been around for so long. But normally, with a lot of other states, we work at a state level just to get the data privacy agreement completely um, available so that districts can pretty much just get started with the platform. But a lot of times, districts actually request a data privacy form to be completed, and then we are available throughout the state. So I'm very confident that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like probably like in the 95 to like 99% sure that from data privacy stance, it should be good, just because we have worked with a lot of teachers throughout Ohio. But if your district requires any additional paperwork, we would be happy to do that also. And you could get in contact with us by either pressing the chat feature or I could send my email also.
Excellent. I know we're asking you the hard questions. How old do the
Yeah.
students need to be? Julia asked, how old do they need to be to sign up? 13 or older, or are you able to take younger?
So we work with students through we as part of our partnership with code.org, we have to in terms of accessibility,
Mhm.
since they have courses that are from K through 2, K5. So even if a student's in kindergarten, they should be fine
Excellent.
from an accessibility stance and obviously privacy stance.
Perfect. All right. Um, we have a few more minutes and then we'll probably move on so that we can get to our flash talks. But does anybody else have any more questions for Ryan? And Ryan, do you have any more anything else I know I keep cutting you off as you're trying to
No, thank you. Yeah, I think the last thing what I wanted to go over is obviously what I mentioned what is free and what is under the paid plan. So in terms of having kind of like the quizzes platform that we went over, most so having access to the content. So we have pre-made content pretty much that covers easy quizzes, medium quizzes, and hard level quizzes. So our medium level quizzes are completely free. In order to see more advanced analytics in terms of like how students are doing and provide personalized recommendations for improvement on the quizzes, that would be part of our premium. And then with regards to our courses, our AP Computer Science A course is completely free. Principles, Python, and HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. We have some free components, but it would be under the paid plan. And then with regards to Teams, a lot of it's free. Um, but with regards to if you're interested in using coding with graphics, if you want access to group projects where students can work together to complete a different coding project, that would be under the paid tier. And yeah, another um, useful one is, or another big one was the plagiarism detection, which I previously went over. So if you guys don't, the reason why we make it free, obviously, is we want to provide as much value as possible to teachers. If so, if you guys don't have the budget available, and want to try out the platform first, I recommend getting started with a free tier because there's a lot of really cool stuff that teachers can pretty much use without having to seek out grants or funding. But if the funding is available, it definitely does enhance the classroom experience.
Excellent. Thank you, Ryan. Can you put your contact information or where the teachers can go to if they have individual questions after tonight that they can
Definitely.
email you or somebody in your organization, and that'll be very helpful. Um, and then we're gonna move on, but we please stay and listen to some of our talks if you like. But I
I
know
could stay until 7, and yeah, I would
you.
love to. You guys have an amazing community, so I would love to learn.
Perfect.
More.
Wonderful. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of announcements real fast, and then we will move into our flash talks. So hopefully everybody can now see, and we are still recording in case, so that's good. Um, Okay, so we want to make sure, again, if this is your first time joining us for one of our meetups, we have a lot of different ways you can connect with us and keep in the know. So our Slack channel our president, John Dutton. He's always putting things on Slack that goes off pretty much regularly on my cell phone. And then, of course, we have our LinkedIn and our X, Twitter, whatever we're calling it now, of course. And I actually don't know what Blue Sky is. I might be getting too old for some of these social media things. I don't know. So if anybody wants to explain what that is to me later, I would appreciate it. If you are interested in getting some swag, we had some amazing stuff during CS week, PD week, CS week in December. And so check that out if you'd like. A big thing is that CSTA, we had the 20th anniversary this past year was the 20th anniversary, and we want to be able to have some memories shared so that we can actually have them here at the big conference, the national conference that's happening in Cleveland, Ohio this coming summer. So if you have any kind of memories about CSTA or in your classroom or whatnot, we would love for you to share. Now you can get to all of these links by going to the bit.ly at the bottom, and which is in our red little banner down there. So feel free to put that into your web address so that you can get to all of these links. We wanted to share that there is a new Pantheon free 3D printing course that's come out. So that might be something some of you might be interested in. We also are looking for admins willing to advocate for the GR, the graduate. Is that correct, John? This is that one thing I'm not quite sure about.
Yeah, it's the graduation
Thank
requirement.
you, Renee.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I'm like,
If you know any admins who would be willing to lend their voice to supporting a graduation requirement for computer science, credit for high school, hit that link and send me an email. I'd love to hear from you.
wonderful. Yay. Excellent. The next national PD series is going to be Equity in Action. That actually starts just in a few, or starts in a few days, right? The 21st, today is the 15th, right? So if you're looking for some PD hours or if you'd like to learn more about equity in the CS classroom, that would be a great workshop to attend. Those are virtual as well. OETC, which we're going to be talking about here in just a little while, is the 11th through the 13th, and we have the entire day of the 12th, that Wednesday, for our CS Summit. So if you have not already registered or you have colleagues that haven't registered, get them in because we are rocking and rolling, and it's not much longer before we're there. OSLN Summit will be on the 3rd of June this summer, and they are looking for presenters. So there is an opportunity to present what's going on in your classroom or things that you're doing. So that might be another option for you this summer to get some things in. And the TI Codes Contest. Who wants to talk about that of my board members? I have no idea what that is.
I'll be happy to talk about the TI Codes contest. So the Texas Instruments has a coding contest that the deadline is February 15th. And students can register as a team. They code in Python on the TI equipment. They can get the equipment for free if they win. And if their code is accepted, then they'll be getting some equipment for their classrooms. Pretty exciting stuff.
That's cool. Okay. Before I move off of this page, I wanted to make sure any of my fellow board members, if there's any other information about these announcements that you think that we need to know real fast, go ahead and, chime in real fast because I know I skimmed over them really quickly. I have to count to 8 seconds in my head. That's the rule, right? Yeah. Now what we learned? Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. As I mentioned, CSTA National will be in Cleveland this year. We are super excited about that, beyond excited. We want a huge presence from our Ohio teachers. So if you are interested in coming up to Cleveland, having lots of fun with us, learning a lot of stuff, we will be there. We'll have a booth there. We're going to have lots of fun things going on that week as well. Please consider maybe coming to CSTA Ohio here in Cleveland. Hopefully the weather will be fabulous, right? Okay. All
And
right.
sorry,
So
the booth real quick was for OETC. So we're
you,
in booth 819 for OETC. I apologize.
okay. So for OETC, our booth is 819. We have no idea what our booth will be for CSTA. So we'll figure that out later. Okay. I just work here. Okay. So our flash talks are in this order. No rhyme or reason really, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to